Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are streaming today on Twitch. This is The Long Dark, and this is my second stream for The Long Dark. So if you missed that first one, boom, I've got it linked right there in Twitch chat. And of course, if you're watching the VOD on YouTube after the fact, I don't have a playlist for the series made just yet because I don't know how long we're going to survive, but you just have to search for Hardware Despair in the Long Dark. You'll find it. It's not too far back on the channel there. But either way, like I said, we are playing this punishing survival game. Who knows just how long I can survive. Now, in our last one, I was able to get the well-fed bonus, but then we ended up running out of food. But then I was looking and I was like, wait a second, I actually have a can of dog food, so I don't know why I didn't eat this in the last live stream. I must have not overlooked it or something, but I think we're also missing a can opener. Maybe that was the reason. Hello, Consolus. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Thanks for dropping by. It's good to see you. Playing some Long Dark. What are you playing right now? You doing some Europa Universalis, or are you playing the Mega Bonk? Which one are you into currently? So right now, yeah, we are looking at no food. I think we'll just smash open this can. I'm just going to do that because we got to have some food in us. And I can hear that there's a storm outside right now. In fact, let's just step outside to confirm that. So we're not going to be able to travel. Yeah, can't travel in a blizzard. So I think what we'll do... How much water do I have? I don't have a lot of water either. We do kind of need to stop and build a fire. Maybe get a little bit of water going. Both you've got stressful wars in the EU, so you need to take breaks. Hey, Jenera 9, welcome, my friend. Unfortunately, I can't for the moment, but I wish you a good and productive stream. Oh, you can't stay too long? Can't watch. Oh, okay, my friend. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming by and saying hello, buddy. And of course, if anybody does miss part of it, it'll be up on the channel. Probably tonight, maybe. I might just go ahead and upload the VOD tonight. We'll see. But so I think the plan right now is to repair some of our clothing. We don't have a lot. In fact, there's a couple pieces that I'm missing that we really need to find, but some of the stuff that we do have is in real bad shape. So we're going to take that off and try to repair a little bit here. Don't forget, it's always, you have a better chance of success if you take the item off. Imagine trying to repair your hat while you're wearing it, you know? That's like, it should just literally be impossible. Okay, we're at 57. It's kind of a funny thought, though. Imagine somebody trying to repair your hat while it's on your head. All right, 97%. I think this one was pretty bad, too, so let's repair. Yeah, and you know, once you get decent enough with your repair skill, tailoring skill, I should say, it's probably not that important to take it off because you're probably going to succeed most of the time. But no, it's not necessarily implied. It's still on there if you don't specifically hit that take off button. We don't have any leather. We really lucked out and got a second pair of jeans, though. All right, we got to take these off. I can hear that the weather, it sounds like the weather's settled down too. Yeah, we should probably take advantage of that as much as we can. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty chilly out here. Let me step inside real quick. We got to take a look at the inventory we got. I want to know what I'm working with here. Okay. We do have some torches, I believe. What's going on? Yeah. I think what we're going to do is head to Mystery Lake because that's where I'm going to set up my base. And that'll allow me to drop off some of this stuff, like all these books we're carrying. I've got 2 hacksaws. I don't really need to carry both of those. We got 2 pry bars, so we'll make it to 3 hours down is pleasant, nice. Everything less than 3 hours down. Oh, it's pleasant to nice weather. Yeah, 3 hours down when it's in cold. That's true. That's true. Yeah, so we'll head to the dam in in Mystery Lake, and then maybe after that we'll head to Pleasant Valley. But yeah, considering too, Consolus, that I'm like really wearing some crappy clothing. Yeah, the fact that we don't see the 3 down arrows is kind of shocking, actually. Must be like seriously decent weather out here. Just a light snow, that's it. So, I think I'm having trouble remembering where we looted on our last live stream because the problem is, as soon as we finished the stream last weekend, I immediately quit and then started my own single player run because I was so into it. I was like, I want to play some more. And now I'm confused a little bit as to where we've looted because I looted a bunch of places in that run, which unfortunately I eventually died. No, there's no thin ice here. It's a good question. Coastal Highway was designed. Maybe that's not true. There is actually thin ice. I shouldn't say that. There is thin ice, but it's not out here on the main part of the lake. You got to go right to the edge where you literally see the water. But no, there's no thin ice other than that. So we're totally safe just walking around out here. Yeah. Good question, though. Forlorn Muskeg, of course, is different, and there's several other places that have thin ice like that. Hey, Blind Lens, what's up? I was just catching up on your YouTube series of Long Dark. So cool to see you playing more of it. Right on, my friends. Yeah, you know what's funny is every year when the winter time comes around, I'm talking in real life here, it gets cold outside, I get in the mood to play the Long Dark. And if you look at my last series, it was literally like a year ago that I released it. But I appreciate you, my friend, coming by and saying hello on the live stream. Yeah, I do love the Long Dark, but I get frustrated with it. You know, it's such a hard game. And I'll get a good run going, and I'll get my bow forged or my arrowheads forged, and I'll be hunting, and then I get killed like by a wolf or something stupid, and I just get really discouraged. But you got to power through it sometimes. Hey, Swan, what's up? Welcome, my friend, lurking. Well, no problem, buddy, no problem. I appreciate you guys coming by. Thank you, everybody, for dropping in today. Just getting started. Going to go for at least 2 hours or just however long I can survive. But I think the goal is to get to Mystery Lake, and we're going to take the way of the stream. There's a stream over here, which if we kind of travel it, we can pick a whole bunch of cattails, and it will eventually lead to the exit point to Mystery Lake. Cheers for the long, grindy games like Long Dark and Vintage Story. That's right, Blind Lights. Hell yeah. I was a little, I've never actually streamed this game, believe it or not. Never streamed it. As you're aware, I've done several Let's Play series for it, but, excuse me. But I always felt like the live stream format wasn't really great for the Long Dark, because there's long stretches of me walking, not really doing anything, but that just gives us the opportunity to chat about movies or something funny. Has anybody seen the new Avatar, Fire and Ash? I haven't watched it yet, but I watched the Angry Joe Long Dark review of it. Now that's a piece of leather right there. We just got those gloves. That's actually nice because we'll be able to repair our... Why is there a dead wolf out here? So Consolas, you were asking about the thin ice. This is the only place we'll see thin ice on Coastal Highway. It's right by the edge here. If I got too close to this, it would start to crack. All right, so here is the stream I was just referring to. And I don't have the maps open. If anybody tuned in for the last live stream, I was all prepared with the maps and stuff. I was going to cheat and tab out from time to time, but if we stick to Mystery Lake, Pleasant Valley, the maps that I know, we won't really have to tab out so much. So I don't even have those open today, but yeah, we'll see if we can deal with it. Of course, getting back into it and playing a little bit off camera will help with that too. So I've got some knowledge of these areas. All right, so we're down to 0 temperature and 0 food. In other words, we're currently losing health, but food is a pretty slow burn. Here's our first set of cattails, though. So food we're actually going to have covered. Hey, Sweet Tea and Gaming. What's up, buddy? Thanks for coming by, dude. Great to see you, my friend. Oh, and thanks again for that recommendation of Surrounded. Really, really enjoy that game. Can't wait to see the development of it, but appreciate you coming by. Oh, bro, that music just kicked in and it scared the beje. I thought that was the bear growling at first. Because there is a bear on this stream. We got to be careful. There could be a bear up ahead. We just got to be careful. The music kicked in. I'm not used to music in this game. It's there, though. It's very good, though. Like, the musical selection is very well done. It's not heavy-handed or anything like that. Alright, so the bear's cave is just over there. We got to be careful as we turn this corner. Hey, Victor, what's up? Sub with Prime. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you subbing, buddy. Yippee, welcome to the stream, dude. It's good to see you. Not much good to see you, too. Thanks, Sweet TN. Been watching the VODs? Excellent. Yeah, I hope we can survive for a couple of hours today, although the long dark, it's always tricky. You never know. I could pick this next cattail and then just instantly get attacked by a bear. What's up, Victor? Hello, my friend. Thank you for coming by, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the cattail heads, that is probably something... I've only got 5 of them. We do have 6 pieces of paper, though. But you're right, cattail heads are something I will definitely eventually start to drop. In fact, that one I just dropped. Okay, there's the bear cave, dead ahead. It's hard to see it, but it's right. There's literally a bear's cave right ahead of us. I don't see the bear. They go on little wanders, so he could be fairly far from here. And the fact that I don't see him at this exact spot makes me think we're probably safe, but I'm not going to take it for granted. How's the volume? Is everything good? It's not too loud? Do you know if the Long Dark PS version is the same as this? That's a good question, Sweet TM, and I don't know off the top of my head, but that's an excellent question, because often developers will make slight tweaks or changes, like not include certain aspects of, mechanics or whatever for the mobile or PS4. I bet that's probably posted somewhere in their Discord, but I don't know. Sorry. Alright, so we're going to take advantage of the bear's absence, and we're going to cut these birch saplings we'll be using for making arrows, I believe. Of course, they have to cure. So, we've got a tiny amount of food in our belly. I'm going to make a strong effort to collect every single one of these cattails in this stream here, though. So, there he is right there. See the bear? Yeah, he's moving away from us, though. Like Medieval Dynasty, PS4 doesn't have the extra map. Yeah, I was thinking Terraria, too. Terraria is very different across the different consoles and mobile versions of it, too. Not sure. Nothing I ever built, but doesn't this game have a travois? That's a really good question. Now that you say that, I don't know. They might have added it. I'm not totally up to date, like on the newest stuff. I do have the DLC, so when I say I'm not up to date, I just mean knowledge-wise. I do have the most up-to-date DLCs and stuff, but I'm not super, well-versed with them. Like the new maps and stuff, I've never really been to. So I think there is a travois, though. Now that you say that, I do remember hearing something about that. We could look through the crafting menu, but right now is not a good time to stop and pause and look at stuff. Maybe there is a cabin up ahead here along this creek, and we're going to stop there and rest to warm up. I can hear the bear. We're still fairly close to him. I can hear him just walking around. He's not angry at me, but yeah, he's right there. Bears are pretty slow, so if he did sense my presence, it's not a death sentence. In other words, we can get away from him, but Like I said, I want to take my time and get all these cattails. Oh, there's a deer up ahead. Might be able to get the deer to aggro into the bear. I don't know. Oh, the cured saplings. Is that what made you think about it? They probably need that too. That could be. That could be. Yeah, I love how much they've expanded this game. You know, it's kind of one of those games that's so difficult though. Like I struggled just to was still with the original content, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for me to survive just on these maps. So I just never really delve into the DLC stuff for some reason. I don't think I've ever even hunted a ptarmigan. Like I see them, but I've never even tried to throw a rock at one. Probably should. I also should be crouching while I'm doing this. Delicious cattails. Oh, cattails are survivor's best friend, people. Every part of the cattail is usable. Not edible, but every part is usable for some survival purpose. Alright, so we've got... Is the cabin up here? It's actually kind of hard to see the cabins sometimes. I've said before in my Discord that I believe that the Long Dark, the maps are really well designed. There are certain sight lines which are I should say there are certain points of interest where their sight lines are obscured so that you don't really see the building until you're right on top of it, making it just more difficult, you know, to navigate. Which I appreciate. I appreciate that. Let's see, 4 maple saplings and a deer skin. Not that difficult to get. Oh, you looked it up. Okay. Yeah, for sure. That could actually... Oh, shit, there's one cattail back there. We're going to leave that one cattail. All right, where's this little cottage at? We need to go warm up. I don't like where my health is at. Okay, it's not up there. We should be safe now, too. Since we got away from the bear... Yeah, we should be relatively safe for now. Hello, Akitato. What's up, my buddy? No, this is survival. We're playing Interloper difficulty survival. And I don't remember what day we're on, but we're not too far into it. This is only the second live stream that we've done with this run, but good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping by the stream. You know, that's another thing I've actually never done is play the story mode. Never. I should probably do that one day. Make some videos out of it. Okay, where the hell is this cabin? Did I already pass it? I feel like I passed it already. Yep, there's a cabin up there and I missed it. See, I'm telling you, it's like you can't even see this cabin unless you're right on top of it. I could just barely make out the roof of it. See, luckily I've come this way before, so I know that it's here. Look at that little cabin tucked away up here. Rabbit Grove, baby. I don't see any rabbits, though. You see a rabbit? I will throw this stone at it. Actually, I'm going to toss one of those. I don't like having 2 stones. I'm a 1 stone kind of guy. No game has taught me like the Long Dark that health is a resource. Yeah, mine is getting a little bit low because we still have a good walk ahead of us. So we're going to pop inside to this little place where it's nice and warm. Unfortunately, we lost our well-fed bonus too, which really sucks. Is it too loud? I'm hitting yellow on the audio bars here. Hold on, I got to turn it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Search the locker. Probably nothing in this place, but we're just going to use it for its warmth. Yeah, t-shirt. Hey, chocolate bar. I'm going to just eat that. 47%, not worth saving. Let's go ahead and fill up a little bit on some calories, too. It's just cattails, but these will at least get our belly full. So I'm not losing health as we walk around. And we're pretty... Oh, I see some antibiotics over here. We're pretty low on liquids. And I'm noticing my liquid bar is real low too. I would prefer not to have to start a fire here in Coastal Highway. Got you on TV while I edit videos. I hate to ask and don't want to answer. I understand. What does... Oh, that's okay. I use VSDC. I don't know what that stands for. It's something like video software, something, something. But that is the name of the software. Look at VSDC, free editing software. There's a free version and there's a paid version. And they do like paywall some features from the free version. Like there's no voiceover in the free version, you have to pay, but it's extremely reasonably priced. It's like $25 a year, so it's much cheaper than like Google, or not Google, what's Adobe Premiere Pro. That one's like $35 a month, or it was when I looked at it like a couple of years back. It might even be higher now. But yeah, I like VSDC. It's got a lot of options. It's not necessarily as user-friendly, I think, as some of the others out there. But, it's got all the bells and whistles. What I do is anytime I want to, like, learn a new feature, like how to zoom in or something like that, I just Google a video for it on YouTube. And they do have a whole bunch of, like, tutorial videos for their software. So it's helpful. DaVinci's pretty cool. I've heard of DaVinci. That's one I think that is definitely a bit more user friendly for sure, and it's easy to use. Yeah. I've never tried it though. You know how it is when you first start with a certain software program and you get comfortable with it. It's hard to break out. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's something that like is related to your job. That you're making money with. Like if I switch to a new software, I might be late on some videos or something because I didn't get it done in time or whatever. But I've got the VSD like down to a science now. I can knock out a video in like 15 minutes. I can edit a video quicker than it takes for the video to process the editing. But that's just because of the way I film. But either way, okay, we're going to eat a little bit, and then we're going to set back out because we don't want to get caught in bad weather. But I think Coastal Highway is a pretty calm place in terms of weather. It's just we got to be careful. But we are pretty close to the exit point. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, they'll play without doing commentary, and they edit, or they'll record like one long video and then they go back after the fact and they edit it all together. They take the time to edit that out, cut things, and then they'll do their voiceover. That takes a tremendous amount of work. Essentially, however long you record, let's say you record like, an hour's worth of footage, hoping to get like a 30-minute video. You're going to at least have to watch that video once through, So what I do is I record individual cuts with commentary as I'm playing. So I'll record like a 2.5-minute scene, and then cut it, save the file, label it numerically, and then after the fact, I just start dropping those individual scenes into my timeline. And then I just put a transition on them to go from one to the other. And that's it. That's all the editing I do. And then I drop in like music and stuff, depending on the game. Like Vintage Story, I have the soundtrack for, so I'm able to just put that in after the fact. So there's no weird like cuts in the middle of a song or something. All right, so we're coming to the end. That right there is the end of the stream. And we'll have to go up to the left of it to get out of it, but I'm going to grab every single cattail. You can hear those wolves. So, sun's getting a little bit low. We've got to trek through the ravine. That's a connection map that we're going to have to go through, but the good news about the ravine is that it's completely safe. There are no wolves whatsoever, no bears either. And it used to be that there was a guaranteed spawn for the flare gun. There used to be a guaranteed spawn in the ravine, but it's not guaranteed anymore. They messed around with the loot tables quite a bit. I think after the last big DLC update. So there's certain things that, as an interloper player, you used to be able to rely on, which are no longer necessarily true. The problem with dropping the cattail heads is sometimes I accidentally drop the stalk. All right, that's it. Let's get out of here. Nope, I missed one. Okay. Yeah, my health is just above 50%, and I don't love that, but I think we're going to be able to get to the dam without too much further loss of health. And once we get to the dam, that's going to be my base, essentially. But we're not going to stay there for too long. I just want to drop some stuff off. We still don't have the hammer, so we definitely need to make that a priority. You know, another thing that used to be guaranteed in Mystery Lake was the magnifying glass, which was a great, like, renewable way. Oh, shit. Hey, Edvard, what's up, buddy? How's it going, my friend? Thanks for coming by the stream, dude. It's great to see you. Barely, just barely holding on by the skin of my teeth here. Edvard, are you a Long Dark fan? I wouldn't be surprised, buddy. We have such similar taste in games, right? But yeah, just trying to. This is our second live stream for this character, so she's only been alive for a couple of days in game, but we're going strong so far. I think the worst thing that's happened is I was able to get the well-fed bonus, but then I lost it because I didn't have enough food to maintain it. But I plan on getting that back. We're going to go for that too. And if you're not sure, if you don't know what the well-fed bonus is, if you keep your character out of starvation, you get a little bonus to your HP and your carrying capacity. And so it's actually really critical, especially an interloper, especially when you don't have the good backpack. All right, so sun is setting, but we've got a little hike. Ah, the ravine. This is actually one of my favorite maps, even though it's just a connector point. I really like this one. I think it was Zachnify, the YouTuber who does a lot of Long Dark content. I think he did a whole series where he survived in the ravine only. And I'm pretty sure he also did a series where he only survived on birch bark tea, too, which is wild. Because that gives you like 50 calories per drink. The dam has a hammer spawn as far as I remember, but that is such a big... Well, it's important to consider, too, Consolus, that... Are you referring to an interloper run that you've done where you've seen it, or are you talking about a lower difficulty? Because the spawns are radically different on interloper, especially for critical pieces like the hammer. But we are going to go through the dam, so hopefully we'll find one. And... there's two of those tool cabinets in the dam, the red like tool cabinets. So maybe that there is a potential spawn there for the hammer. But yeah, we're definitely going to be looking for that. We're doing pretty good. I've got 2 hacksaws and 2 pry bar. Oh, you only play interloper. Nice, nice. But yeah, maybe it's no, don't worry, buddy. I'm going to be searching the dam. And we'll probably check the other major points of interest in Mystery Lake, too. Not necessarily for the hammer, but we're just going to be looting. You trying to find the damn thing? We're headed to the dam, buddy. Don't you curse at me, Edvard. Insta-ban. I'll insta-ban any dammers here. No, I'm just kidding. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Thanks for dropping in. Playing some Long Dark today. This is the long, boring part here where we just traipse through the snow. But no, this is good stuff. It's funny, though. I call this the boring part, but then I streamed the new game Mega Bonk the other day, which is a very exciting and action-packed game, but I had fewer viewers for that game. So maybe that says something. People do enjoy the calmer, more laid-back games. At least my audience does. No, but Megabonk is super fun. I've been playing that one a lot in my downtime. All right, let's go. If anybody's not familiar, Megabonk is a recently released. I think it came out in 1.0 in September. It's like Vampire Survivors, but 3D. 3-dimensional Vampire Survivors, if you can imagine that kind of craziness. All right, so there's a couple of rabbits Actually, there's potentially four rabbits in this map. Calm and laid back, where any minute a wolf could drop on you. Yeah, I mentioned that to Aram yesterday in Discord about how the Long Dark has both those moments of sheer terrifiedness, where you're just scared to death of like whether dying in a blizzard or getting eaten by a bear or wolf. But it's also got those moments where it's like so peaceful and atmospheric and calm. Maybe you're cooking out by your campfire or doing some fishing at a hut, one night. And oftentimes in the same run, you'll get that kind of a juxtaposition of sheer terror and emotion. God damn it.
I'm starving.
How did I miss that shot? Went right over. It hit the ear. I'm pretty sure I hit its ear balls, but it went right over. You're not going anywhere, rabbits. You're not going anywhere but in my belly. Uh-huh. Snap it. Oh man, that is a really, really good sound, isn't it? Let's pick up this rock here. Sweet TM, I'm struggling to find my editing style and what works for our channel. Oh, I understand, buddy. I stream Minecraft here and then edit down okay, then you edit down your stream. Yeah, sure. I understand. Not sure if I would do narration style or just full stream export. Totally. Yeah, and that's a good point too, because I post my VODs, on my YouTube channel, but I don't edit them at all. And it probably does actually hurt the view count a little bit too. In other words, if I took the time to edit them a bit more, make it a more refined viewing experience, it probably would serve to boost the views a bit. But then trying to do that and keep up on the the Let's Play series is sometimes a bit much. All right, we'll drink that coffee if we absolutely have to, but let's try and avoid it. All right, there's still another rabbit around here. Let's get it. Hey, Cursed Whist, welcome. You doing some yard work? Well, I'm glad you could come by. Thank you for dropping in the stream. And I'm sorry that you died on your run recently. Hopefully you'll be able to pick it up again, or have you gotten to that point now where you're too frustrated with it? Because that's what happens to me. Some people like the raw videos. That's true. Actually, Swan, I have had people say that before. And I mean, I've had people be like, oh, I hate the chat overlay, when I'm watching a VOD, but then some people absolutely want to see chat, but it's hard to please everybody. That's definitely true, but that's no great epiphany to anybody. Everybody knows that. All right, so let's grab this one rock. So we got two little rabbits in our pocket, and we're pretty stinky now, too, because of it. We got the 2 scent lines, which could cause us a problem because as we exit the ravine and go into the Mystery Lake, we're coming right out where there's a potential wolf patrol. So there could be a wolf right on top of us. And I'm also pretty weighed down. We're at 86 pounds. I think what we're going to do is avoid too much looting. I think the decoy button is 4. I don't know. I never use decoys. But, yeah, we're going to avoid doing any looting because the weather is starting to get bad. We just had a big severe wind pickup. You can throw a rock at the wolf while it's charging you, and it will stop the charge. But if you go to aim and throw the rock at the wolf before it has charged you, it will just provoke the wolf. So it's a delicate balance. God, speaking of delicate balance, my fat butt can't get up here. Can you please get up? I know this is the place. I've done this before. God damn it. There we go. No? There it is. Okay, we're fine. It's tricky when you're overweight like that for some reason. Let's see. Well, your life against the one rabbits might be a good trade. That's my problem, Consolis, is I'm so greedy in this game, dude. I'm like, oh, I've only got 4 flares. I can't use a flare right now to scare this wolf away. But then I get myself killed, and I never have any use of the flares because I'm a carcass laying there. Oh, I do that a lot. In fact, that's how I lost my last, like, secondary. No, we're going to do all the looting in on another day because I don't want to stop even to look, because we are going to try and hunt more rabbits. Oh, speaking of which, we'll come back for the loot because there's also a train car here that we can search. And if we really get ambitious, we could go down the ravine and look for that signal gun because it can still spawn. God damn it. Okay, I can still sprint. I have a feeling we're going to see a blizzard here pretty soon. Where did that go? The good news is I'm fairly adept at navigating the ravine, so even in a blizzard, I think we can get out of here. Look at my water. And that water's a problem. God! Alright, we're done with the rabbit. We've got 2, and we can always come back here. We gotta go. We gotta go. Edvard Kemp, also known as Edvard Fudd. Now that's an old school reference, Edvard. The young kids in chat won't even know what you're talking about. They've never seen that. They've been raised on SpongeBob and Dragon Ball Z, not the WB. But hey, you know, I get the reference. I get it. Now, I once watched a documentary on the voice actor who's like did the original like Bugs Bunny, and I think he did Daffy Duck too, and several other of the characters. But they talked about how he was so adept. There's one scene in one of the videos where it's Bugs Bunny doing an imitation of Daffy Duck, and so the voice actor has to speak as though he's Bugs Bunny impersonating another character, so he's got to lay on basically 2 layers of the voices. You know what I'm saying? He's doing 2 different voice acting simultaneously, and you don't really appreciate just how difficult that is. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting. It's back those old times before, like, there was television, too much television. Like, the most exciting thing they had to do was, like, listen to the radio at night so people would develop actual skills. You know what I'm saying? They would just, like, do stuff, like juggle or, you know, weird stuff. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we got some more of the trees. We will go ahead and grab these birches. I know oh, God. All right, we'll drink this coffee. That's good, that's good. Takes us out of the danger zone. There's actually more cattails here in this zone, too, but I'm so overweight right now that I feel like a slug walking through here. Did I get the trees? Yeah, we'll get them later. Maple are rare, yeah. I don't think I have found a single maple in this run yet. So the birch that we have are going to be for the arrows, and then the maple is actually for the bow itself, right? If I'm not mistaken. There's a piece of coal. There's a deer over there. So yeah, we do need to find a maple. Probably be able to find one in Mystery Lake. We'll see. We'll get one. I have confidence we'll find one of those. Maple makes the sweet bow. I don't even think that's like true in real life though. Don't they usually use like alder or yew wood after 4 for the travois? Oh, and 4 for the travois. Oh, 4 of those birch things for the travois. That's right. That's right. So I will want to come back. We'll definitely be coming back to the ravine here because this is right next to the base. You know, we're going to set up our base at the dam. So We will be using the ravine quite a bit for resources. We'll be coming in here to hunt rabbits. Once we get the bow and arrow, we'll come in here to hunt deer. And of course, there's like constant stream of birch bark that falls from the trees. So that's one of the reasons I really like the dam as a base in Mystery Lake, is because it's one of the reasons because of the proximity to the ravine. Because the ravine is a really great
Sure, I
map.
carry much more.
I mean, just the fact that it does not have any predators in it, yeah, it makes it a pretty special place. All right. Nova Degree, thanks for the follow, buddy. All right, so let's see here. I don't think the wolf is present because he would have already aggroed on us with the stink lines that I've got going on here. And this wind is really kicking up. Really kicking up. So it's just, yeah, sun's going down. Nobody agrees, subscribe. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Thanks for that, my friend. Oops. And welcome to the stream, too. Appreciate you dropping by. Okay. Oof. Man, it's good to get out of that. So this is usually the place that I sleep because obviously the dam does not have any beds in it. So my base is kind of split up between the dam and this trailer here. So with that being the case, we'll go ahead and search it. But then I'm going to start unloading some stuff into these storage things. So my birch saplings are now on the ground. Excuse me, and they're being cured. So that's like Consola said, we're going to use those for a travois and for some arrows. Sorry, I know it's dark. I don't really want to start a match or anything right now, though. I think we will want to probably start a fire. At least... Oh, you know what? No, never mind. We don't necessarily have to start a fire because there is water inside the dam. Okay, sometimes there's like a metal... Okay. Travois is maple. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was birch. My bad. Okay, well, that's going to be harder then because we don't have any maple yet. All right, so in this locker, I will start to put away some of the things we don't need to be carrying around constantly, like the metal.
I gotta eat soon.
She's crying about her stomach. Oh, I do have a can opener. So this book is useless to us, so I'm just going to use that for burning. I really don't need to carry those around. Okay, can't forget about those rabbits. Hanny Hanny, subscribe with Prime. Thank you, Hanny Hanny. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Let's see here. You against nature in this game? That's exactly right, Nova Degree. Yeah, the Long Dark is a post-apocalyptic setting, but there's no monsters. Well, there are, but that's a special type of situation that's only during certain events. But yeah, it's just strictly man versus nature. There are predators like wolves and bears. I mean, there's even animals like the elk or the moose, I think it's called. The moose, which can kill you. It's obviously not a predator, but yeah, it's a very dangerous world. This is an extremely challenging survival simulator. And we're currently playing on not the absolute most difficult level, but one of the harder levels, too. It's called Interloper. Basically, it removes all firearms from the game.
So crazy right now.
She's talking about drinking her own pee right now, people. All right, I'm going to put that away. Don't need these. I'm keeping some of the firewood because we're going to go potentially start a fire. I need to get some water, but maybe I'll just grab it from the toilet. We'll start a fire tomorrow because it's almost bedtime. Yeah, The Long Dark it's been out for quite a while, number of years, but, you know, it's been under heavy development. They've got a DLC out for it, which adds, like, new maps. There's, in fact, a whole story section to the game. So if you don't like the sandbox, like survival aspects, you can play like the storied version, which kind of tells you a little bit about the backstory, I would assume. All right, peaches flavored water. Hanny, Hanny, get out of here. All right, so let's hop out of the trailer real quick. There could be a wolf. Got to be careful. We've got these rabbits on us. Now, here's an interesting fact. The wolves cannot go into this area. So you don't need to close this gate. The wolves literally cannot follow you in here. So we're totally safe in here. Do you think it would be possible to do something like In a Woods and Vintage Story? What do you mean exactly? Vintage Story is kind of like In a Woods in some ways. I mean, it's all primitive survival. You could do a Homo sapiens run, which is just focused on the survival aspects, gets rid of the story content and stuff. I think that would be somewhat close to it. So this area right here, this is where I'm going to build my fire pit right here. In fact, I'm not going to build it, but it's going to be situated right there. So it's pretty well protected from the wind here, and we'll be able to stay outside when we cook, which is very important because this game has cabin fever. You can start to get cabin fever in this game if you're not careful. Okay, and let's drop our food over here too. Okay. All right, we got to get inside now.
It's a goddamn freezing.
And add dinos, that's right. Homo sapiens server, good idea with prehistoric mods. Yeah, Henny. It's kind of similar to how my current hardcore series was originally intended to be set up, but I went kind of light on some of the mods, but... Oh, no problem, buddy. You love the In the Woods? Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Looks like you're doing okay. Don't block your exit. Thank you. So we're going to have to use our cheat vision here. I'm going to go into clear mode because it's pitch black, and I'm not going to light a match, but I am going to use this to come in here and find a toilet. Where's the toilet at? Should be right next to this thing, right? There it is. Oh, it's only got 0.08 gallons of Wawa. Pea flavored water. Well, it's better than 0.00, right? All right, the other one's right here. Navigating like a blind samurai. What the hell? There it is. Imagine me, like, in the total darkness, feeling around in this public restroom, desperately trying to find the toilet so that I can drink the water out of it. That's essentially what's happening right now. That's literally what I just described what my character is literally doing. But this is the apocalypse, people. You do certain things in the apocalypse you wouldn't necessarily do in everyday life. All right, we got a little water. Should at least last till the morning. Beautiful. All right, now my health is real low. Now we go to Nova Degree. Yummy. That's right. It's got extra calories. We need every extra protein and amino acid we can get. So don't discount it. All right. We're just gonna drop that. Wait, you don't drink toilet water in daily life? Well, if you have a dog and you let the dog drink the toilet, and then you let your dog kiss your face, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. You're pretty much putting your face into the toilet, So let's be real. Which one of us hasn't let a dog lick our face, full well knowing that they also lick their butts? I mean, they're sweet creatures, but they're also revolting in their daily habits. Okay, so here we go. That's why cats are better, because they don't come up and want to lick your face. But they do still lick you know what. Okay, let's go ahead. You guys are all aware of this. You don't need me to tell you these facts. But I am going to tell them to you. Yeah, so the plan now, we're going to survive the night, and then we're going to search Mystery Lake a little bit. Your dog doesn't lick your face, it just drinks water. In the mornings, just go in and splash it on your face, a little bit of a morning ritual. Wake yourself up. Hey, it puts hair on your chest. That's an expression over here, Hanny Hanny, in the States. Whenever like you're doing like a guy who's doing something rough or gross, they're like, "Oh, that'll put hair on your chest." Like that's a good thing. I wonder, do they guys is that cultural or do you guys have that expression over there? All right, I'm gonna actually harvest these. We do need to pay attention to our clothing. In the morning, I really need to repair some stuff. All right, but it's time for bed. So we're going to go for a full 10-hour sleep here. That'll help us to recover as much of our health points as we possibly can by sleeping for as long as we can basically stand it. I wonder if you like the game Stray. I never picked that up, Nova Degree, but I know exactly what you're talking about, where you play as a cat, right? Is that the Stray that I'm thinking of? Yeah. Okay, I didn't even need to sleep for a full 10 hours. We woke up early. At USA, it's initiation of becoming a man. That's right, exactly. All right. Let's see, it's still pretty dark. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, okay. Um, I actually kind of hate to use that piece of leather on these shoes because, to be honest, we're going to want to replace these running shoes with something else. So I think I'm going to save that piece of leather and not even repair these shoes right away. Oh, crap. I meant to put this thing. I'm going to drop this. Meant to put that inside the dam by the workbench. Okay. Yeah, we're going to need some water. Because I don't think there's any more water in the dam. Unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, you play as a cat. It looked good, dude. I almost did buy that game. And I know when it first came out, too, there were, like, it was pretty popular to watch. Like, there was a lot of viewership for it. But I just didn't. It just didn't. Not for any particular reason. It's just sometimes you can't, you got to pass on certain games. Can't play them all. But from the movie Willow, she's not just a baby, she's a princess. And the last thing she's going to want is a hairy chest. I vaguely remember that quote, actually. I loved the movie Willow when I was a kid, man. Val Kilmer. What's his character's name in that? He's got a really cool name. I've forgotten. But yeah, that movie was so classic. I heard the new re-release of the show was garbage, though. All right, what the hell time is it? We got to do something. Let's break apart a chair or something. No. 45 minutes, that's perfect. Oh, okay. Not quite, actually. Not quite. Not quite daytime yet. What did I do with all that paper? Stray is really cute. It takes some dexterity to play. Oh, I like those kind of games. Oh, so is it almost like kind of platformer? That makes sense. Cats are literally like a cat's life is like a platforming game. Wow, I just realized that. I just had that enlightenment. I was just struck by knowledge. Yeah. Cat's life is like, yeah, and storyline. Cool. Might have to check it out. All right, so I'm waiting for the light to come up so we can repair some clothing. Let me grab this, and we will just rip this apart for the extra cloth. All right, see when the sun's little horizontal like spines there come just above the horizon, we are now technically in daytime, so we can see enough to work on this stuff. Let's take those off. Repair. Okay, I think our clothing is doing a little bit better. Let me look at it. Okay, let's repair this shirt. It's probably pretty cold out there. Another interesting fact about the game as this is not guaranteed because sometimes you get storms and blizzards at various times of the day, but morning time is generally colder and then it gets warmer as you get closer to afternoon and evening. And then of course back into nighttime it dips again. It gets real cold. So actually the best time to explore is kind of afternoonish. But again, that can change just depending if you like have a blizzard in the afternoon. Obviously, that all gets tossed out the window. But all right, let's go ahead and take those off. Repair. So in other words, it's not totally bad to kind of hang around camp for the morning. Although if we want to try and get I mean, we're just going to go to the dam, so I don't think weather is going to be too big of an issue. All right, how we looking here? Really want to avoid repairing this, but I think we will. This is another piece that eventually I'd like to replace. I don't really want to wear this vest around, but we'll just repair it for now. All right, so we're going to head over to the dam, and we shall explore. Beautiful daylight. Look at that food I missed. What's that can at? 75%. All right, just looking at this place in the daylight to make sure I didn't miss anything, because obviously I did. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go to the dam, people. To the dam. Let's go to this trailer first. I still haven't searched this one. Mystery Lake is untouched territory. So far, the only thing we've been inside is that trailer in the front part of the dam, the toilets. We definitely paid a visit to the toilets. All right, there we go. Looking for any hidden stuff. Developers are real sneaky. Real sneaky about where they put stuff. All right. Well, we got one can of food out of here. That's actually not bad. We'll probably come back in here and harvest some of that metal, which usually is some of the metal that I use for forging comes from that place. Let's check this truck, too. Anybody else out there playing The Long Dark? Whist, are you still playing? Or did you get frustrated? Okay. Unloading ahead. Let's get in the Carter Hydro Energy Dam. Sometimes, too, there's actually tools laying around out here. We should look around real quick just to check. I doubt there's a hammer. I don't think there's like a hammer spawn, but... Oh, no. I've seen like crowbar and stuff hanging around. Loading your save right now. Nice. Nice. Oh, that's right. You were doing yard work. You said that. Well, I'm glad you're getting back in now. Let's go. Little simultaneous play. And of course, Whist is doing Interloper 2, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so we'll be able to loot this room without much light, but I will light a torch here in a couple moments, so we'll be able to see a bit better, guys. I know, you're basically looking at a pitch black screen right now. Let me just go ahead and light it. No reason not to, I guess. I got plenty of torches on me. How many matches did we end up with? Oh my god, I forgot. I've only got 4 matches left, guys. Well, actually, this is not the worst place to search. Oh, you do have it in your library, Nova. Well, my friend, maybe this'll incentivize you to play it a little bit. Give it a try. It's a very challenging game. But of course, like I mentioned, we're playing it on one of the more difficult settings right now. There are easier ways to play it. You can essentially play where you're basically, it's like hard to die on the lowest difficulty, but so much fun, so atmospheric. Really, it is. Like when I play this on my own, like single player, I will turn all the lights off in my room, you know, and I'm just like the only thing I'm looking at is the screen, just diving into the world. I mean, maybe that's too down to my personality because I do like I'm a very solitary person, Oh, there's matches right there. Beautiful. And I like the idea of living in a world where there are no people. It's maybe antisocial as that sounds. Maybe not too. I say that I like it, and then I get in that world, and I'd probably end up hating it. But no soda. You do the same when you when in the game. Hell yeah. All right. Oh, nice lantern. We'll use that. I've got some fuel too. Careful what you wish for. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, I was not expecting to find a thin wool sweater. This is kind of one of the best pieces we can get on this difficulty. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, you don't usually find clothes in this area. We did get more matches though, so that's pretty huge. This dam is a pretty extensive place, so we're going to be going all the way through it, but I found matches in these trash cans in the past runs too. Alright, well, we know there's no water in those toilets, and I am completely out of water. Not quite, but now we're going to be. So once we finish this dam, before we do any more exploring, I will have to stop and set up a campfire and do some cooking. But that's okay, because we got 2 rabbits, too. Don't forget, we got to process those animals. Currently, they're sitting outside right now, so they're frozen solid. So they're not going to go bad anytime soon, but you know, we just want to get them taken care of eventually. Okay, hey. Shooting guide at the very top of the stairs. Now, this room I have found matches in many times in these like desk drawers. So hopefully we find a couple more books. Typically what you find the most of is paper or nothing. I don't know, is nothing something that you can find? That's more of a philosophical question, you know? Can you possess nothingness? Can you find nothingness? Can you be without nothingness? I don't know. You guys tell me. Oh, crap. Okay, I think I can still light it. I gotta be real careful about where I throw these torches. It came back and bit me in the butt on the last stream. Alright. Couple more desks to search. Okay. I'm so glad we've got a crowbar. You don't know how much it hurts me to have to walk by lockers like this that are locked and not have a crowbar and have to like leave them behind. You work in an antique store and that'd be a score to find in the apocalypse. Hell yeah, dude. You know, that's one thing in Cataclysm, Edvard, that I've never looted is a antique store in a big city, but I've seen them. I know that there are antique stores and they're kind of rare. Like you don't see a lot of them. It's like not as common as like a gas station, obviously. But I'd love to get in there. I bet you could find like some cool armor or something. Like some medieval armor. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, matches. Told you. Yeah, the dam is a good place for matches. It's not guaranteed, but it is a good spot just because there's so many different like crevices. What am I doing? Okay, I've only got 3 torches left. How much actual fluid is in this lamp? I think it's okay. Oh, sorry. Mean to do that. Okay. Let's go in here. In Cataclysm, they're quite small, not too much in them. I go for pawn shops personally. Yeah, pawn shops, I've searched pawn shops before. Yeah, pawn shops are cool. Yep. Edvard, you've been watching the Innawood series? Or are you not a fan of Innawoods? What is that? Oh, it's a mouse. Yeah, we're definitely going to get back to live streaming Cataclysm 2 in the future. Probably after the Let's Play series is over. After this In the Woods is done, I'm going to start streaming it again, so don't worry about that, buddy. I think I'm also going to start streaming some Vintage Story again, too, although I'm still kind of up in the air about that. If I want to do a Let's Play series for the next run or just stream it like I've done in the past. The I'm gonna climb this tree series, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I don't climb trees, all right? That would be a cheat. Matchbox number 3 from the dam. Let's go. Yeah, matches are so critical. Because in this mode of play, there's not... You can't, like, rub sticks together, unfortunately, in this game. I think you probably should be able to. Like, if I was in a primitive survival situation, and, like, I was stuck in a blizzard or something, I would be doing, like... I would just be practicing, you know? But, like, okay, I'm going to try and learn how to make a fire from scratch, you know? Shoot, Tom Hanks did it in that one movie. And he was crazy. He talked to a beach ball. Or volleyball. Hanny. I've fallen off of the Let's Play Vintage Story. Oh, it's okay, buddy. It's too much for me to catch up. Streams are a bit better for me. I totally get it, my friend. Listen, I'm the first one to recognize that I put out a lot of content, and it's hard to keep up with. But that's okay, my friend. It's more of a compulsion with me. I feel bad if I'm not working on the channel in some way. Does that make sense? All right, I already searched this area. Yeah, like if I'm not doing something to, like whether, even if it's just like playing a new game, you know, which I might sometimes feature, I feel bad. I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing. So in other words, I make a lot of videos. All right, let's see. That's my last torch. I have to break out this lantern. I did put some lantern fuel back in our trailer. We could go grab that. Honestly, I really prefer not to let this last torch burn out. That's not a smart thing to do. So, with that being the case, let's back out to the exit. I'm going to extinguish this torch. I'm going to grab the lantern. Let's see just how... Oh, it's full. We don't have to go outside. Nice. Found a lantern full of juice. Yeah, some people love Let's Plays, but then, you know, some people enjoy a good live stream. When I started doing YouTube, too, I never had the intention to live stream. It was just something I started doing because it was fun. But it's good. It's good to do all forms of content, in my opinion. Your editing is good. I've always struggled with it. Oh, thanks, Hanny. Appreciate you, buddy. It's something I struggled with too in the beginning, you know, and it's something I hear commonly complain. Like I have people, you know, I work with who know that I do YouTube, and some of them are young guys, and they talk about how they want to make a channel, but they hate editing, you know, and that's a common thing that I hear is people say they hate to edit. It's actually, I'm the opposite. I love it. Again, I feel like I'm engaged, like I'm doing something creative, something productive, something that is benefiting the channel, you know, so I love every aspect of it. Okay, so 50 is our number. Live streaming is much more of a recent thing. That's true, 100%. Most older YouTubers stick with the Let's Plays. Yeah, I had a coworker tell me the other day that they heard Let's Plays are dead. I was like, well, my whole channel is Let's Play series. Hey, what's up, Aaron? How's it going, buddy? You're so upset at this damn game? Listen, I get it, man. I get it. That's why I will, like, play it a couple of times a year and then not play it again for, like, 12 months, dude. Oh, you died to the wires during the Aurora. Yep. That's something. You didn't even know the wires were a thing. Yeah, actually, you can see some of the red wires here. Where were you? Were you in the dam like we are? Or somewhere else? You were probably in the airfield, weren't you? All right, so it's 50-55. Yeah, this area that I'm in right now, if the Aurora hits, we can be killed too. So that is something to watch out for. You love Let's Plays. It's good to watch while working. Yeah, I think it's foolish to say that Let's Plays are dead. Any kind of large, generalized statement like that is almost immediately disproven. You know what I'm saying? By just a clear example. And I wouldn't necessarily say that, like, I'm super successful at it, but, you know, most of my Let's Plays, like the first episode, will usually top out just over 10K or whatever if it's like a vintage story run. I don't think that's dead. That's not dead. That's a lot of people. All right, so this room's good. I literally wasn't... You literally went through hell and back, killed so many wolves, got out of the airfield into the broken railroad, had food poisoning, cured the food poisoning, and died to a mechanic that you didn't even know was a thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty cruddy. And it's weird too, because the Aurora, see all those chords, dude? Yeah. So this place is actually kind of a death trap when the Aurora kicks in. If you're like exploring the dam at night, yeah, it's actually pretty dangerous. But Aram found out the hard way. Yeah, that's not great, is it? That's a weird kind of function. Or weird kind of mechanic, you know? Because the Aurora... Well, the Aurora is essentially what causes the apocalypse, but I don't know the details. It's just, you were in the maintenance shed. It was wild. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, buddy. Well, listen, like I said, set it aside for a month, a year. That's what I do. You'll get the bug. You'll get the bug again. For me, it's whenever it gets cold outside, as I've said many times. You know, when it's winter... That's when I want to play these like wilderness survival that are set like in the... And also, I used to play Unreal World too a lot during the winter time, but I've kind of fallen out with that game. Just I've played it too much. We're getting real low on water. The bug will come back in a half an hour, to be honest. Yeah, you're still kind of in the honeymoon phase with it too, aren't you? You're fairly new to the game, correct? Didn't you just recently buy it, or you had it and just started playing it again? Can't remember. But it is addictive. And like I've said, you know, once you get that good run and you get to a point where you're building your base and you're able to like trick it out with the stuff you want, it's a really satisfying game. Once you've overcome that initial like really difficult part. Maybe you've got most of your exploring behind you. You've got all the stuff you need. It's so much fun. Did you see the Unreal World Needle update? Is that the most recent one? I was looking at the most recent one. And I think, yeah, it was revolved around clothing and stuff. I didn't get into too much detail with it, though. Yeah, like I said, Unreal World. It's honestly, you know what it is? Cataclysm. Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead is such a good game. It's difficult for me to play the Unreal World and not sit there and wish that I was just playing Cataclysm. You know what I'm saying? It sucks to say it, but it is true. Because I know that there's a lot of viewers out there who really enjoy, you know, the Unreal World content, but it's just tough after playing Cataclysm. That game is so phenomenal. Well, I thought I got to the phase and I'm just dying to things that I have no clue how to deal with. Falling into the ice, now the wires. Oh, more matches. That's huge. Wiz told me the story mode explains those mechanics. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, Aaron, before you came in, but believe it or not, I've owned this game since like 2013 or something, and I've never played story mode. Never. So I don't know any of the story behind it. Especially when you discover the Innowoods. That's true, Hanny. Yep. Somebody described Innowoods on one of the comments on my videos as Unreal World, but on steroids. And that's so true. That is very, very true description of the Innowoods Cataclysm. And it's better, you know, and I'm not putting down the Unreal World because, I mean, it's a game that belongs to 1993 when it was originally released. It's a great game. I've got thousands of hours in it. And it is still technically under active development, but, you can't really beat Cataclysm. It really has just, I think it's got a stranglehold on that genre, and it's not letting it go. Okay, our water levels are pretty low, and remember, I don't want to let us starve. We want to keep our food up. Have I tried 7 Days to Die? Ask Consolas. I have not played some. Well, I think I played it a while ago, but I have not played it recently, and I don't own it. Was there a previous? Was there like a 7 Days to Die, like before 7 Days to Die? And was there like a 6 Days to Die or something? Because I feel like I have played it, but not the version that I see on Steam. I did find out that Insomnia isn't bad, so I got that going for me.
Drink almost anything about now.
That is good. You got that benefit, buddy. Unreal World's it does have good hunting. You're right. You're right about that, Edvard. The hunting mechanics in Cataclysm are pretty garbage. They are pretty garbage. You would love to see me play that. I joked Consolas is trying to get me to play it. And I feel bad for not diving in, but honestly, it's kind of pricey. It's like a $45 game, US dollars. We're talking, this is Trump economy right here, people. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't get too political. All right, let's grab this. The apparent version is quite controversial. Yeah, I remember you guys discussing it a little bit. All right, so that's it for the hammer spawns. I don't think the hammer can spawn just like randomly. But now that we've checked both of the toolboxes here in the dam, I think we can safely say that there's no hammer here. But that's okay. It just means we got to keep searching. Keep looking around. We're coming to the end of the dam, too. So we're about to turn around and leave. But we got to search every little spot, every nook. Oh, is it 24 euros? Winter sale? Oh, that's right. We are on the winter sale. It's been on your Steam label, but wait. Hanny. I haven't heard about the new version. What's up with it? Yeah, that's something Consolas would have to answer, because I don't know. Yeah, this is the last room. We'll turn around and we'll go start a fire. So I'm about to run out of liquids. Whoa, what was that? Oh, we just got more jeans. Thought it was long underwear for a second. Yeah, we definitely need to find some more long underwear, but we might not get lucky on that until we go to Pleasant Valley, which I do want to do. Gilberto, 7 Days is a great game, but playing it whilst you watch, really. Nice. A lot of small things I think I'm not the best person to answer because I have not played much with the latest version. Yeah, this used to be one of those areas that had certain guaranteed spawns, but that are no longer necessarily present. Nice. Oh, nice. Okay. A little bit of food and a hat. There's the memento thing. I don't have the key for it, though. Come on, man. We got like, what, 4 or 5 boxes of matches? We came in here with 1. Yeah, I had 1 box of matches with 4 in it, and now I found 4. For some reason, it stacked these. Huh. Oh, well. Oh, no. Yeah, so that's huge, actually, because I was nervous about not having enough matches. If you run out of matches on Interloper, man, that can be devastating. Sale goes till January 5th. Okay, thank you, Consolas. I will, buddy. I will. I should get my YouTube payment today. YouTube pays out on the 21st. Sometimes they're late, though. What is today? Today's Sunday, yeah, so I probably won't clear the bank until, like, tomorrow or Tuesday. Okay, time to get the hell out of here. going to rush through. I'm tempted to do this in the dark, but I won't. Tomorrow's definitely... you're definitely playing some games because I'm on standby for work. Oh, but it's Christmas, so I get paid for doing nothing. Well, congrats, buddy. And Merry Christmas to you, too. Gosh, it's only a couple days away. Jesus, it's the 21st already. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Or Happy Holidays, or whatever. Okay. So, let's see, what time is it? Midday. Still good time to explore, but yeah, we have to stop and start a fire. Shut up, lady. This is the exit to go to the lower dam. We'll probably check that out, too. That's another thing about the dam as a base. It's literally got 2 connectors that you can easily access. Now, the other one through that door behind me actually does have wolves. So it's not peaceful like the ravine is, but still pretty cool. So that used most of our fluid for the lamp. So I'm going to turn that off. Guys, it's going to be a little bit dark for a moment or two, but we're just going to power through this. Okay, actually, I don't think I should have done that. I can't see where I'm going. Okay, that's a wall. That's the wrong way. No, but agree. Have a good stream. My kiddo is on. Okay, buddy. Got to see what she's up to. Well, my friend, thank you for coming by, dude. And I appreciate that sub. Thank you, of course, for your support, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Mike the Mighty. What's up, dude? Merry Christmas to you, my friend. It's great to see you today. We've been going for about an hour and 20. Let's see. Which is actually more than I expected. Didn't feel like that long. So, all right. Yeah, let's get this fire started. Oh, I'm about to starve. Because we've actually got some food we can cook now, too. So we're going to do a decent little cooking. We're going to boil up some water. Wait, oh my God. I don't actually have any good containers yet. Yeah, that's crazy. I haven't found any cooking vessels except for stupid tin cans. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to cook water. Wait, can I use this? I don't know if I can use that flask. So what's going on? You left Pleasant Valley and now in Mystery Lake? Yeah. Actually, we didn't start. Well, Pleasant Valley was the first run, Aram, which we died, if you remember. And then we restarted this run in Desolation Point, which is the place with the lighthouse that has like that ship, the broken down ship with the forge in it. So this run, we started Desolation, then we went to Coastal Highway, where we started the stream today, and now we're in Mystery Lake. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I get them confused too, buddy. The only reason I know that is because I had to think before stream. I was like, okay, which run am I playing here? Because remember, last week, right after I finished the stream, like I immediately started my own single-player run, which unfortunately eventually died. But, wait, that's not the right way to do that. So we want to light the torch with the match. Never use a match to start the fire directly, because you can fail, and then you have to use a second match, or a third match, or a fourth match. If you use a single match to light a torch, and you fail with the torch, then you just use the torch again. You don't have to keep lighting matches. So never start a fire with a match. Always use your torch. Or if you've got like magnifying glass or something, use that. But it's another little tip. Okay, so let's see here. And again, on certain difficulty levels, it's not so important because you're going to be finding tons of matches. Maybe even things like fire strikers and stuff. But let me drop this. Actually, I don't really want this. Oh, I just used a match. Holy God. I actually hate that. All right, let's add some firewood. That's magma. Last 3 playthroughs ended up getting more matches than I know what to deal with. Yeah, that's in Interloper. It's a very different story. Yeah, yeah. But obviously you're not on Interloper. All right, so we're going to get... It's unfortunate we have to do this, but I'm
Meat trees?
going to have to utilize this fire pit for water. And I'm going to take a torch, and we're going to start a second fire. This is the bad thing about cooking outdoors. Obviously, I don't have as many cooking surfaces, so it really is kind of required to have two fire pits going. I would probably do okay with Interloper, but no. I definitely recommend playing it on the lower levels first, for sure. I didn't start off playing Interloper, as you might imagine. You know, I played a lot of Stalker level like you're playing when I first started myself. In some ways, Stalker is more difficult, though. Not in a lot of ways, but in some ways it is because there are more wolves on Stalker. If you play in an Interloper world, you will see fewer wolves. Alright, so we're just going to focus on cooking what we've got. So let's place... And this is something I was telling to Aram last night too, but another tip, in order to level up your cooking skill, because cooking is such a critical skill in this game. Where the hell are the skills? Wait. Oh, here we go. Yeah, cooking is arguably the most important skill. And it's not that easy to level it, but one thing I do is I will cook all the cans of food. Even if I don't plan on eating them right away, make sure you cook it before you eat it, because otherwise you're going to miss out on the cooking experience for each can. And of course, dog food can't be cooked. That's going strong. That's going good. So yeah, I'm going to eat. Thank you, Aaron. You absolutely hate the wolves. They're just irritating. Me too, I do. You know, and I was telling this to Aaron as well last night on Discord. I hate the mini game, like the click, click, click. You had to click your mouse super fast to like fight the wolf. I hate that. It was actually something that turned me off to the game for a long, long time. And I've even admitted to using like an auto clicker program before, where it'll do like 100 clicks per second. You just keybind that to like one of the F buttons. You hit F1 and boom, you can instantly kill the wolf, or not necessarily kill it, but just instantly win the fight. I used to use that all the time because I hated the fighting. I mean, I would always die. I'm not good at it. You know, I can't click 1,000 times a second. Whole reason I hate the wolves too. Yeah, the stupid mini game. And they did eventually add the option, if you look in the accessibility section of the options, they did eventually add it so you can struggle input type, quick tapping, or you can change it to just press and hold. But my limited experience with this, you more often than not lose the fight when you press and hold. Like, you don't have the opportunity to really like overpower the wolf with your quick tapping, you know? So it's not really a great solution. You can see I leave mine on quick tapping, even though I hate that option. It's not my preferred way. My preferred way would be to, like, I don't know, have some other mini game. Maybe it's like a quick time event where you got to push a certain combination of buttons that correspond with like the moves you're doing in the fight. I don't know. You know, I'm not a developer. All right, so let's grab the water. It just seems like it's been in the game so long. It felt like initially when they first released the game that it was more like a placeholder, you know, the quick tapping, and that they were going to do something else with the wolves, but they never did. And it is such a big part of the game, too. Like, most of my runs end because of wolves. The original beta, remember having to build up an attack before executing it with the right click. Now, that's interesting. So they did try some different stuff, huh? That just ended up with a quick tapping event. Again, it feels so half-assed, but I hate to say that because I do love the game. And I don't think the developers are like bad or anything like that. Just doesn't feel that well thought out. 9 minutes, 29. Okay, so I think we've cooked all our foods. Yeah, all the cans I've got are now cooked. So, what we should do is drop them. Actually, this one I'm going to go ahead and just eat because it's at 42%. It's not really worth saving. So I'm going to just drop them here, and we'll start to just stockpile foods. In fact, I'll put like, not you. Get out of here, rabbit. Start to organize things a little bit. I need to get into the salt mechanic. That's something new, too, that I've never messed with. Boiled. Okay, do we have water here? Perfect. Yeah, we got to focus on water now. Let's see. Wait. I definitely believe that it's okay. Good. Wait, what are we saying? Good clothes can make you pretty survivable for struggles. The real death is being built up over time, which is what happened with my first death. Yeah, and keep in mind, too, that on Interloper, a lot of the clothing options you'll see are not available. So, in fact, the best clothing in the game, it doesn't even spawn in Interloper. So you're definitely going to be a lot less prepared, not just for the weather, but for also wolf struggles, too, on Interloper. Now, the good thing, though, is, Interloper does force you to, not necessarily force you, but it certainly kind of coaxes you towards making your own clothing. And if you make, like, the wolf coat, I'm pretty sure that the wolf coat actually has a chance to just scare wolves away. You know what I'm saying? Like, wolves will run for, not all the time, but I think that they have a chance to, like, just be scared by the player when they're wearing, I think that's true with the bear coat, too. I have to look at the wiki. Actually, it might say it. I think it actually says it. You may not run from much, but you may not need to either. Wolves, yeah. Wolves that will remind wolves that they should keep their distance. Oops. God damn it, I just used another match. Ugh. I gotta be careful about that. I do that and I hate that. Interloper really focuses on survival and self-reliance. It does. It really does. That's why I love it. It's the only way to play, in my opinion. Alright, so what we're gonna do is set up the water. So that's about 40 minutes, which is about what this campfire has left. So if I leave these here, they should be boiled by the time we get back. What I want to do, though, is take some torches from this fire. So I'm going to add some reclaimed wood just so I can take some more torches. Boy, we're getting some really bad torches here in terms of the durability on them. Yeah, because we're about to go on a little hike through Mystery Lake. It's always good to be prepared. How many do we have? Also, I need to drop this book. Actually, we'll put that in our little camper. Yeah, it's also luck-based a lot. That's true. Because of the loot spawns, for sure. Oops, I just took the water that wasn't done yet. Damn it. Crap. Okay. Okay, so that's about 40 minutes worth of fire. There we go. We'll take another torch out of it. Perfect. I think that's perfect. Now, let's drop these books. I'll drop one book here. I'm actually going to drop some of these cattails, too. Just really trying to slim down. We're at 41 pounds. Let's go to the trailer real quick. And I'm going to drop off one or two more things, like some of these matches in this book. And then we're going to go hiking. Yeah, I don't think there are any more potential hammer spawns either in Mystery Lake, so we're really just here to scavenge the place and then move on. Still looking for that hammer, but eventually this will be my base, so we'll come back here again and again. We'll use this as a kind of a central point. Alright, so drop off the leather. No, there's not a forge in Mystery Lake, but there's one right next door in Forlorn Muskeg. Let me grab this. And then remember, too, Forlorn Muskeg then borders the Broken Railroad, which is where you were last night. And that also has a forge for some strange reason. But there's two forges right next to each other. For the longest time, the game only had one forge. And no, that's not true. There were always two, weren't there? One in Desolation and one in Muskeg, I think. All right, so we got a half a gallon. I got a little bit of food on me. Let's start stashing some of this food away. Not too much. All right, I think it's time to go. Let's put that back. I should have left that at the fire. All right, let's get out of here before this torch dies. Okay, it's actually getting kind of late, but that's okay. We're still going to travel. We may just end up having to sleep at the cabin or something, as opposed to coming all the way back here. I'm not going to pick the Rishis, but I want to see if there's a wolf over here. There's a lot of cattails there too, but I'm going to leave those as kind of just like a savings account. You know, that'll be like our backup. If we really need some food, we can go harvest the cattails right by base. Forlorn Muskeg, though, at this point, I kind of hate that place. Is that where you fell in the water at, buddy? Yeah. That's a bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to try... No, damn it, never mind. I was going to try and drive that deer down in that direction, but went off on his own. Notice my temperature level right now. We're not losing any kind of warmth. It's really nice out right now because it's evening, because it's afternoon. Like I said earlier, the temperature starts to warm up. In the early morning, it starts off really cold, and then as noon approaches, the world gets warmer and warmer. And usually about this time is the best time to explore. Actually, look, now in the bottom left, I'm actually warming up now that I'm carrying this torch with me. We were briefly warming for a moment, and I do not have good clothing either. Of course, it's not guaranteed. Like I said, too, if you might just encounter a blizzard in the afternoon just because you're in like a Pleasant Valley or something. But in general, the world does behave like that. Okay, there's a rabbit back there. Here's another tip, too. If you... Airfield loves those long day blizzards. Yeah, that's how Pleasant Valley is, dude. If you know that you've got a deer carcass like this that you didn't kill yourself, actually, I think it's true for once you kill yourself, but I'm not sure. Don't look at it yet. Don't open the menu to see like how much, because then it will start to deteriorate. It will stay like this, frozen, if you don't look at it. But the moment that you open up the menu like this, oh, it's actually frozen, so it won't let me. Yeah, then it starts to deteriorate, and eventually that carcass will disappear. So if you know that you want to come back to it, don't look at it. Let's grab these. It's also true about cabins. Like if you're going through a map, for instance, like a map that has the houses, like regular houses with the kitchens that sometimes have like food sitting out on the cabinets. If you go into a house, then any food that's sitting out is going to start deteriorating, even if you don't pick it up. Even if you just leave it sitting there, maybe you don't see it or something, that percentage is going to deteriorate. But if you don't go inside the house, then it won't. It will kind of stay in a state of like perpetual, preservation. So again, it can be strategic to leave like certain areas of maps untouched so you can come back to them if you get desperate. It's only once the player kind of encounters that food, if you know what I'm saying. Because imagine like all the houses like around coastal or even here in Mystery Lake, there might be food sitting out right now, but it's not going to be spoiled by the time we get to it. You know, it's going to be exactly as it was when it spawned in when we first see it. But then if I don't pick it up and I just leave it to sit, then it will start to spoil. But we have to, like I say, kind of encounter it first, whether it's just opening the door to that building or whatever. The loot only spawns when you enter the zone or house. Exactly. Exactly. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah. And of course, it's different for things that are in cabinets. So if you go in a house and then there's food like in the cabinets, that's different. It's just the stuff that's like sitting out. All right. So we do have some trees ahead of us. Let's get this thing changed. Yeah, there's a lot of these little tips and stuff I learned by just posting Let's Play series on YouTube, and then players better than myself would like leave me comments, you know, little tips and stuff. So a lot of this knowledge that I have comes from the community. So it's only right that I think I pass it on. All right, we're going to ignore the rabbit because I don't want to get a bunch of stink. What? Oh, shoot. I put both my hacksaws away. Oh my God, what an idiot. And I brought this stupid hat with me. And the jeans. Wow, I did a really bad job of inventory management back there. God damn it, how did I leave my hacksaw? Well, it's not the end of the world because we are going to return, but that's a really stupid mistake. That's not good. It did bring my pry bar at least, so if we encounter any like locked stuff. Done that more than once. Really bad in the airfield because it takes like half a day to travel somewhere. Yeah. It's those kind of simple mistakes too that can get you killed, you know? That's why I like this game. Because the choices you make really do matter. They're very impactful, you know? And in some ways, it can teach you lessons for survival, not practical lessons. Like you're not going to learn like how to start a fire from playing this game, but what it will teach you is patience and to expect the unexpected. You bring the bottle. I don't understand, Hanny. Yeah, because like there are days I'll be playing and it's like, oh, okay, today is a perfect day to go hunting. You know, I got my bow and arrow. I'm going to go out. I'm going to spend all day. I'm going to find a deer. We won't have to worry about meat. And then you go and you open the door and it's a blizzard for like the next 8 hours, you know, and the snow doesn't stop until nighttime. And then you can't hunt. And so it's like you can learn that kind of like lesson and transfer that patience that you need for this kind of a survival situation to a real life survival situation. You know, if I were suddenly stuck in like a winter survival in real life, I would think about the long dark a lot, and not necessarily like I say with practicality in mind, but I would be in that same mindset, I think. Let's see, bottle opener, but not the saw. Yeah, I brought the can opener, but not the saw. It's weird that you can't open your cans with the hacksaw either. I don't think you can, though. All right, so we've got to eat. We got very low visibility thanks to this fog out here. Can hear that the wind is maybe picking up a little bit. I'd like to explore a bit more before we go to bed, but I honestly think we're just going to have to sleep at this cabin. Oh, you got spoiled with not needing a can opener with cooking 3? Does it no longer require can opener at level 3? That's cool. I didn't actually realize that. Ever found a can in a can opener this playthrough? Sometimes they're tough. I've gone through whole playthroughs where I won't find one either. But this one we got lucky. Usually you can find them in Pleasant Valley, in the farmhouse, in the kitchen. Pleasant Valley has a couple of like can opener spawning places. All right, there's still more cattails around the lake. Yeah, I don't think we're going to venture out around the lake right now with this low visibility. Yep, the worst luck, having a ton of canned food and no can opener. That's true. It's very, very true. It's also how I feel when there's all kinds. I walk through like a herd of 3 deer and I don't have a bow on me. It's like, damn, all this meat, no way to down it. Okay. Well, it's not the worst, right? With the knife, it's like 10% lost. Yeah, it's just a small amount lost. But you know, hey, in the interloper runs, all those calories matter, buddy. Oh, okay, there's a hook right there. And also, I'm pretty sure that you don't get the can back, too. Like, whenever you open a can with the can opener, I'm pretty sure you get, well, you do. You get the aluminum can back in your inventory. But I think if you smash it, you do not get the can for, like, further use. Whoa! I have never seen this item. This is like a new item to me. It's probably going to replace one of our hats, right? I mean, it's in terrible condition, but yeah, it's definitely better than this thing. Yeah. The characters look so stupid. She looks like a clown, doesn't she? With her red nose and her white face. Maybe that's just how the winter looks. Makes you look. Shouldn't make fun of her looks. What can she do about it? There's also a jacket and a hanger. Both are amazing for the wind. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah. Probably designed to keep the wind off the pilots. All right, so I'm searching this place extra closely because this is potential spawn for the magnifying glass, but it's not here. Hey, look, we got a cooking skillet. That's awesome. And a cooking pot. Beautiful. Yeah, this is one potential spawn for that magnifying glass. And on Interloper, I can't tell you just how important it is to locate that magnifying glass. So critical. It's the only like renewable source of fire that you can find. Actually, yeah, no, because you can find the fire striker, but the fire striker is not infinite. It actually does have limited use. It's a lot more than like matches, obviously, but it's still technically limited. Potato. I think that's everything. Yep. All right, let's go upstairs. Wait, did I check the cabinets? Yeah. All right, let's go over here. Okay. Never seen a fire striker. They're very small. They're easy to miss. They're very easy to miss. Usually you'll find them like tucked like just under the corner of something like on the ground. You'll probably come across them in a stalker run for sure. Ooh, there we go. That's a big find right there. See, this is another item in Interloper. You do not start with a bedroll. Where is it? Yeah, so that's the only bedroll that we've discovered. And of course, now that gives us the ability to sleep wherever we want. Whereas before, we had to plan it out. You know, we had to always be traveling from one place with a bed to another place with a bed. Otherwise, we won't be able to sleep at night. But finding that gives us a lot more flexibility. Now here is the other potential location for the magnifying glass. Sometimes you'll see it spawn right here, but it's not there. To be honest, I haven't explored a ton of the map yet, so I guess it's just a matter of time. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what this game's all about. It's almost just like do you ever play Call of Duty or what's the other one? Counter-Strike? Like, it's so important in those games to learn the maps. You know, a player who knows the map really well has such an advantage over a player who doesn't. And the same is true in the Long Dark for very different reasons. But if you don't know these maps that well, then you're going to be really hurting to survive. Whereas, you know, that's why it's so important to try and play it on the lower difficulties first. You know, Kenshi is very important with that too. Yeah. You travel to the wrong place on the map in Kenshi, you'll get stomped. All right. So I think we're going to just go ahead and sacrifice the torch. The torch is done. I'm not going to try and keep the fire lit all night or anything like that because that would just take too much wood. So in the morning, if we need a torch, we'll have to relight one and sacrifice another match, but that's okay. I forgot to put the matches away too when I left. I'm going to go ahead and let's read a book. Let's read a little bit of this book that I've got here. Let's read an hour's worth of this book. Okay. And let's eat some delicious ketchup chips. But the blindness is what makes it excited. That's true. You're right. Now, this is something I'm tempted to eat. But remember, we haven't cooked this yet. So I want to take it back to my fire and cook it to get that experience. So with that being the case, we're just going to fill our belly with some cattails for now. What's going on? Eat them, please. Eat the cattails. Yeah, in the lower difficulty, you can pretty much just ignore cattails altogether, but man, in interloper runs, you can't. Cattails are 100% essential. You got to harvest them and harvest as many as you can. That's a good reason to go to Forlorn Muskeg, too, because there's a ton of cattails, but you got to be careful, obviously. As you discovered, right, Aaron? Yeah, falling in the lake is not necessarily a death sentence, but it really is not good. Okay, so it's very dark. Let's go ahead and drink. And how's my health? Okay, health is not totally full, so we're going to go ahead and sleep for a nice long stretch of 10 hours. You should try your luck at the airfield. Might as well be need to sleep and warm up immediately. Okay, there we go. So we'll drink again because we're thirsty. 10 hours, you can sleep longer. This is another little tip here. You can sleep longer for 10 hours, but 10 hours is the cutoff point where if your liquid meter is totally full, in other words, you just fully drank as much as you want, sleep for 10 hours, you will be empty. Your hydration will be completely empty, but it won't be affecting your health. Pretty much 10 hours is that cutoff point. Yeah. Because like if you go into the 12 hours, then you're actually going to start losing health because your character is sleeping while dehydrated, you know? So 10 hours is the cutoff. And you do want to sleep for as long as possible because that's where you're going to get the most healing benefits from. But 10 hours is that cutoff point for water at least. All right, so it's pitch black. What we're going to do now is process some of this clothing. We can't repair it, obviously, in the dark, but we can harvest it. Oh, but it is daytime now, too. It just turned. So let's actually take this off. Take it off. Let's repair it. Oh, it takes leather. Okay, never mind. We'll just put it back on. Go back. No. It's still better than that other thing I was wearing at 33%, which is crazy. All right, so let's repair this thing. Nope, repair it. Oh. All right, and good. Yeah, I'm really not doing great on clothing. We need to get to Pleasant Valley. That's where the real good clothing starts to come in. Well, depending on your luck. That'll probably be the next place we go after Mystery Lake is to Pleasant Valley, because unless we find the hammer, we're still on the lookout for that. All right. It is daytime. I'm missing a hacksaw, so I don't want to venture too far. But we might be able to circle the lake and do the looting around the lake. There's some houses. We might find a little bit of food. Do we loot everything here, though? Just want to make sure. Let's check the weather, actually. On second thought, there's another place maybe we should check before the lake. Weather's clear. Tell you what, we'll save the lake. We'll do that another time because that's pretty safe. We're going to go right there. See that red watchtower? We're going to go up there because that is another potential location for the magnifying glass to spawn. Now, it's early morning, so it's very cold out here. Hey, Edward. Gotta love that Canadian flag. You know it, buddy. You know it. There it is. Yeah, so this is one potential... Oh, there's a wolf. Really want to find that magnifying glass, if possible. You know what? Those wolves right there, I'm starting to reconsider. We're going to go to Trapper's Cabin instead. Yeah, I don't want to tangle with those wolves right now, so we'll just alter the plan. See, that's another good lesson that like this game can teach you that would cross over into a real survival situation is never get locked into a plan. Always leave yourself room to adjust things or change things in an instant, you know? And when you do make that decision, follow it through. Don't second guess yourself and waffle and go back and forth and try and do two different things at once. Just follow through with your original plan. And I can tell the weather's getting bad. I do not want to get caught out here in a blizzard, I'll tell you that much. I mean, if we get to Trapper's Cabin, we can sleep for a couple hours, maybe work on our clothing a little bit more so we can warm up, but I do not want to get caught in a blizzard on the way there.
If I don't warm up soon.
I think we're going to run. I don't often sprint because it can really, well, it can just make survival more difficult, but I think we will run right now. Alright, so there might be a couple looting places right here at the end of this train track, so we'll check those, and then we're going to follow the wall. Oh yeah, the blizzard's coming. I can tell. Well, maybe we can beat it. Oh, that's always a good thing, right? Risk your life on whether or not you can beat the blizzard. Oh, that's probably stupid. Right now, the safest and best thing to do would be to just turn around and go right back to the cabin on the lake because it's easy to find. All I have to do is follow the railroad tracks. Even if there was a blizzard, I could do that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to take the more dangerous route, and we're going to walk out here into the woods where there are potential wolves. And if we lose visibility, I could easily get turned around out here. Might start a fire, I doubt it though. Yeah, there could be wolves off in the forest, so we got to be a little bit careful. Also, could sprain myself if I walk up this steep hill. I think we're going to be okay. From this point, if the blizzard kicked up right now and we lost all visibility, I would still be able to find my way. And let's go ahead and sprint. Sometimes there's one of those birch saplings that spawns around here, but I don't see it. Got a little piece of coal. There is a cave around here too. I don't know exactly where it's at, but I'm pretty sure it's a connection to another map that I never visit. Alright, let's be careful. There could be a bear and or wolf over this hill. None. None, none, none. This map I know pretty alright. Spent my first time here the entire playthrough. Went a bit into the Coastal Highway. Yeah, Mystery Lake is kind of like the starter map almost. I would consider it. I do like it a lot. Where are we? I'm getting my bearings mixed up here. I came over that. Yeah, okay. It's easy to get turned around in these woods too. Even though I've played in this map, dozens, maybe even a couple hundred times, I've still gotten lost, in bad storms and stuff, get turned around in the woods, head off in the wrong direction. Accidents happen, even in Mystery Lake. But, yeah, Mystery Lake's a pretty sweet spot. So this is Trapper's Cabin, dead ahead of us. It's also a potential location for that magnifying glass. I know it seems like that thing can spawn in a lot of locations, but it's really just 3. This location, the cabin we just left, and then that lookout tower that we were going to go to. Those are the only 3 that I know of. Maybe they changed it too, but... And it used to be that it was guaranteed to spawn in one of those 3 locations. You would always find it in Mystery Lake, but that's no longer true. It doesn't have to spawn on this map anymore. Don't see any birch trees here. Sometimes there's a little, cusp of birch trees right over there, but I don't see them. Which is good, because I don't have my hacksaw to even take them. I always find it weird, just how skinny this cabin really is. It's a tiny little building. Alright, we made it. We avoided the blizzard. Now, this place actually, for being so small... does typically have decent amount of loot in it. It's just random though, so. See what we get. Anything? Got a book. Okay, so magnifying glass would be right here maybe. Or oh, there it is. Bam. Woohoo.
This will come in handy.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So that's awesome. Now, obviously, for the magnifying glass, we need clear skies. So we can't always start fires with it, but it's a very small item, This durability is irrelevant. It won't change as far as I know. And we can carry that around with us forever. But that's huge that we found that. That was real big. Oh, wow. All right, let's crack this safe open. There's 30. 30. 32. 3220. Go all the way around. 30. 2. What do we got? Hey, all right, we'll take the syrup for sure. Oh, I almost missed that. Sardines, let's go. I like how the name of the sardine manufacturer is The Last Resort. You can actually go to that place too. The manufacturing place for the sardines is in this world. Is it Bleak Inlet? I think it's on the map called Bleak Inlet. You can go to it. It's the actual cannery, and as you might expect, they usually find a buttload of sardines there too. All right, so what the hell are we doing? Let's see. We need to warm up a little bit. Harvest that. Really don't want to let my food go into starvation because I'm trying to reacquire that well-fed bonus. So I want to be nibbling on these cattails and stuff. Yeah, we got to save those to cook. I'm just going to eat. No, well, wait. Being lazy here. Never been to Bleak Inlet. Bleak Inlet, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think it was one of the first maps where they introduced the timber wolves too. So it's actually a really dangerous place to go. Like if you're a new player, it's not recommended to go to Bleak Inlet. But and I don't even really mess with the timber wolves too much myself. Like I don't know if I encountered timber wolves, I wouldn't really know what the hell to do. I might have to go watch some YouTube videos, figure that out. All right, so I think the storm has picked up. It sounds like the storm has gotten worse out there. Oh yeah, total blizzard. Okay, so we're not traveling. I mentioned like any other creature, fire is your friend. That's true. That's probably true. They definitely behave differently though than regular wolves. They act differently. They hunt like a pack. Yeah, the marine flare. That's right. That's right. There is a distinguishment between the flares other than like the duration that they burn. Because the marine flares do last shorter amount of time than these. That's right. I forgot about that, Aaron. All right. What are we doing here? I think we probably ought to just sleep. Well, we could sleep for an hour. If the storm's still going, we'll just like work on our clothes or something. I don't want him to sleep too much because then he'll have too much energy by the end of the night. I think the storm is still going. Let's double check it. It's still not even like midday. Yeah, that's okay. I say try it blind, you never know. I think finding out is the fun part. You definitely have that explorer gene, don't you, Aram? I think if we rewind the clock like 400 years, Aram would have been like on a Spanish galleon, like sailing the Atlantic, looking for new worlds to explore and discover, and new treasures, right? Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's look at our clothing. Go ahead and tear these up. Probably cartography has been a big passion of yours too, really. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's amazing too how much we take for granted, like maps and GPS and stuff. But back in those days, what they called the rudder, a ship's rudder, and it's not it's not part of the ship. It's the book, the navigational book that they keep everything in was like one of the most valuable things, on the ship. Obviously, if they didn't have that, they would have no clue where they were going. If you're going into areas of the world that have not been explored before, or maybe only explored by like one or two people before you, you could probably navigate by the stars, but you don't know where you're going. And it's not just your destination that matters, but currents in the waters and the oceans have a tremendous impact on like wooden sailing boats. So if you get into the wrong type of ocean too, that can be a death sentence as well. Yeah, there's so much history out there about how wildly important maps navigation is. Yeah, I read a really great book. It's not about navigation, but the main character is a pilot. He's a ship's pilot. It's called they made a mini series on it recently. It's a historical fiction about the first Europeans to ever encounter the Japanese islands. So when the first European like Dutch sailing ship went to Japan. And Shogun, thank you, Advard. Yeah, Shogun. It's a really great book. Highly recommend it. Wonderful. I haven't watched the series, but it looked pretty cool. But in it, like I said, the main character is the pilot he's an Englishman piloting a Dutch ship. But like the first thing he wants to do when he goes to a ship is find that book. Find that book. He's got to find the book. It's like his most important possession is his navigational charts, and not just for his own personal reasons, but like he could be held like in like as a treason, if he were to let those leak, or like the Portuguese discovered it because they were in big competition with each other. But anyway, okay, so We're still waiting on this storm. Let's break down this chair. 45 minutes. And that'll give me some wood. I can still hear the storm. I bet you it's probably going to end pretty soon, though. Sometimes it's a struggle to find things to do to pass time. We could read. Is there another chair? Break this down. Yeah, Shogun's really great. There's actually a sequel to it, too, which I can't remember the name of that book either, but it's interesting. It's more focused on, like, romance. The second book is almost, it's weird, but they're both good stories. I really enjoyed them. Long books, though, very long. Taipan, that's right. Edward, have you read? I'm blanking on the author's name, too. Clavel? Is it James Clavel is the author? Have you read much of Clavel's stuff? I'm also a big fan of King Rat. Are you familiar with his story, King Rat? They made it into a movie.
Starving.
That stupid storm is still going. We will get out of here eventually. We will escape the cabin. Let's just read. You've read Shogun and Taipan. There you go. Yep, there you go. Shogun is one of the books I still want to read. Will take forever with your dyslexia. I listen to stuff on audio right now. That's all I do is listen to audiobooks these days, handy. I don't know if that would truly help with dyslexia yet, though. I don't know if that's like something that would help, but I do enjoy a good audiobook nowadays. But yeah, I highly recommend those two. Shogun for sure. Definitely read Shogun. And you know, it's historical fiction, so a lot of the characters were not real, but they're based on real people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this Englishman who comes to there was actually a Dutchman who is very similar to who this character is. He's becomes promoted amongst the Japanese, becomes like a close ally of one of the high up samurai, just like in the book, so it's cool. Because you do learn a little bit of history, but it also kind of inspires you to go to the wiki page and like read about the actual history of the first, encounters of Japanese and Westerners and stuff. Pillars of the Earth. Edvard, no, I don't think I've read Pillars of the Earth. Who's that by? I listen while reading. I have an app where I can follow the book while listening. Oh, okay. No, I'm not familiar with that one, Edvard. What is that? Is that historical fiction too? Pillars of the Earth. Is that about the gates of Hercules? The Straits of Magellan? No, the Strait of Gibraltar? I don't know. I don't know that one. All right, got a storm. We're going to get stuck sleeping here, aren't we? No, I can tell the storm just ended.
Anything right about now.
Okay, well, it's almost sundown. Let's have a little bite to eat, but we should be able to travel. Oh, it's about building Westminster Abbey. Interesting. That could definitely be an interesting read for sure. All right, yeah, temperature's not too bad. I'm actually tempted to go to Forlorn Muskeg, but considering that I don't have my hacksaw, I just don't feel like going there. Or not the hacksaw, the hammer. Another long book. I don't mind that. I love long books. In fact, I mean, oftentimes when I'm looking for like a new book to get into, I want either a really long book or a book that has like multiple novels in that series. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just read something for 4 hours and then be done with it. Even if it's like a really, really great story. That's why I often like shy away from short story books. There's so many great books out there with like short story anthologies from authors I like that I've just never read because I want something I can sink my teeth into, as they say. All right, I gotta be careful here because if I talk too much and not pay attention, I'll get myself lost. Broken railroad trip. We might have to, man. I might have to venture all the way there just looking for a hammer, but I don't know yet. Just don't know. Just don't know about that one. God, I can't believe we wasted more than like half the day in that stupid cabin. I mean, it was worth going because I found the magnifying glass. But by the way, this is perfect weather right now to start a fire using the magnifying glass. And if you're not sure, it will tell you. If you try to start the fire, it just will say it's not possible. Imagine the hammers are going to be the most common around the forges. You would think, but it's not necessarily the case. Although it's possible, but Interloper, they screw with you, buddy. They don't make it easy, trust me. Anywhere you see those red tool cabinets, though, there is a chance for hammers to spawn inside of those. There's a couple places in Desolation Point I know that can spawn the hammer outside of those little cabinets too, though. But Forlorn Muskeg doesn't have a lot of areas to actually loot, you know? It's pretty sparse on buildings. There might be fake ones there, you know, forgeries. Get out of here, Edvard. Your puns. The Clan of the Cave Bear is one of your favorite books. You have the entire series. Yeah, they made that into a movie, didn't they, Hanny? If I'm not mistaken, didn't it have Daryl Hannah in it? Or it had one of those like really popular blonde actresses at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Don't ask me why that is the one part of the movie that sticks out to me, you know. Don't ask that question. There's a few in those in the Broken Railroad. Yeah, we might end up having to go the Broken Railroad. I think we're going to try and make our trip through Pleasant Valley first, though, because Pleasant Valley has a good chance to spawn the hammer, and there's a lot of good clothing there, too. So it's like killing two birds with one stone, hopefully. But it's a hard area to survive, and it's going to be quite a trek. It's going to take us multiple in-game days to go through that area and to get there. And we're going to have to backtrack, too, because we've come through Coastal Valley once, so we'll have to return that way. But that's not the end of the world, because we didn't necessarily loot everything as we went through there. You got 2 hammers in the last playthrough. That's a stalker run for you right there, buddy. It's such a difference too. Like if I were to try and go to playing a stalker level right now, it would be difficult. I would be carrying around so much stuff. Yes, Sweet Tea, and I do have a Discord, my friend, but it is not a public Discord. It is just a private Discord as a benefit to my Patreon. So you have to sign up to the Patreon to get access to it. I apologize, my friend. I did have a public Discord when I first started my YouTube channel. I had that going for, I don't know, like a year and a half, 2 years or so. But it's too much trying to moderate a public Discord. It's not fun, you know. People do dumb shit on Discord. Try and hack other people, try and phishing scams. So I find it's just so much better, even if it's just like a $2 donation, you know, because $2 is the minimum of my Patreon, and all the tiers get the same benefits. So if you donate $2, $10, you get access to the server and all that. But I mean, even just a $2 like barrier to entry really does help. Because I mean, I won't even get into the details, but just go start a public Discord server one day and see how that goes for you. Okay, where are we going? We need to, if we're going to go to this watchtower, now is an ideal time. But man, we're losing daylight. It's a bit of a risk. You know, we already found the magnifying glass, so it's not really that important that I go up there. So we're going to avoid it for now. And we're going to return to the dam because it's going to be safer. Actually, it's not necessarily going to be safer because there's a wolf right there. Damn, I only have one torch too. It's 21%. Damn it, we need to go that direction because there's lootable stuff in that direction. I really screwed myself not making more torches, though, didn't I? Let's see. People do stupid stuff. Yeah, I need some good mods and admins to keep a server in check. 100%. 100%. And then the question is, well, how do I trust those people? People do stupid stuff on the internet for sure. For sure. 100%. Especially on Discord. I have one, but my channel isn't as big as yours. I completely understand. Yeah, it can get crazy. And I used to like advertise it on my channel too. So, I mean, it wasn't huge, obviously, but a couple hundred people. All right, so came in here to start a fire. Let's do that real quick. I'm hoping maybe to get this fire and get out of here and get back to the dam before nightfall or before it becomes too difficult for us to travel. So again, we light the torch first, then we light the stove with the torch. Will not use those. Yeah, but we got a really great community now over on Discord for sure. Aram, Monster VT, Consolus, Hanny, and a few others. And Wist. Wist if she's still here. All right, we got that. Let's add some more fuel. Always serves to have extra wood with you. All right, so we're just grabbing torches. Not really cooking anything right now. I wish there was a quick way to do this, but there really isn't. Yeah, this there's like a train, like a derailed train between here and the dam, which can have some halfway decent stuff in it. Sometimes it's completely empty and you don't get anything out of it, but I have found some tools there before. I don't think it's got a hammer spawn, but it might. I don't really know. Can't take anything for granted. They really did change the loot tables up quite a bit. All right, let's get out of here. I'm going to eat a couple times so I don't have to eat while we're walking. Let's take a drink. Delicious. Oh boy, we're out of water again. God damn it. Well, I should have some water that's like ready back at the dam, right? Yeah, we set ourselves up with some water, I think. Ah. Beautiful evening it is here. The game has taken on that kind of light pink hue that it gets whenever, you know, sunset. I love this game. So atmosphere. I love it, but it's so damn frustrating. All right, so yeah, the wolves are still here. We're definitely going to have to encounter these wolves. Oh, no. Okay, he was scared of me. There's another one, though. There could be more, too, other than these guys. There might be more along these tracks. This isn't the safest route, but like I said, we want to go explore this track. Come at me. He ran off in this direction, which means we're almost certainly going to encounter him again. Have to scare him off. I think his buddy is ignoring me. Oh, we got acorns. Okay, good. He's running off in that direction. It can be annoying when they constantly run like in the direction you're trying to travel, so you keep having to like throw shit at them. Dog reacted to that. You got a cute puppy, Hanny. That picture you shared earlier, that's a cute little dog. I don't know how little he or she is, but that's funny she reacted to the sound. It's a realistic dog noise, I guess, then, huh? Alright. Definitely not going to bother with the deer. Oh, I forgot to loot the actual thing. The reason I came down here. Always a middle-aged man. I understand. Hey, for some of us, all dogs are puppies, you know. They never truly grow up. That's what's great about dogs. Like, they don't differentiate when they get to like a certain age. They don't act differently, you know. They act silly all the time. Okay, not much here, but there is another potential train car along this route. So we're gonna loot that. I'm actually gonna sprint. After sleeping in the trapper's cabin, we've got a decent amount of energy. They're good dogs, Brent. Wait, what? They're good dogs, Brent. It's all right. I know how it is. Trying to type. You're trying to play and type. Yeah, look at that skybox. It's another great thing about the Long Dark is the sky is really nice, especially once you get the aurora.
My fingers.
All right, so we got plenty of torches. Once we pass this place, we're almost home free. I thought the skybox in Mystery Lake is strange with the mountain range. Yeah, the mountain ranges are kind of plain looking, aren't they? Not that one, but like, yeah, like that mountain in the background. It looks like a 4-year-old drew it, you know? It does kind of look out of place compared to some of like the really nice detailed stuff, but yeah, like that. Reminds me of like the background in Terraria or something. Okay, so this is the car that I've seen like halfway decent loot in before.
I need a horse.
Like I've even seen the flare guns spawn in here before. But there's one piece of cloth. Okay, well, that's how it goes on Interloper. Sometimes you get good loot, most of the time you don't. All right, out we go. So there's a couple looting potentials over there, but they're not that important. So I'm just going to ignore them. But dead ahead, you know, we're getting kind of low on cattails. Let's go over here. I know I said I wanted to save these. Whoops, I just tabbed out of the game. But we might go ahead and pick some of these. I had more earlier, now I'm getting low. Just if there's no moose or wolf over here. And there's a wolf. Maybe I just scared away. Yeah, this is one of the possible moose spawn locations right here, too. I've seen the moose spawn at this location.
I'm freezing.
But obviously he's not going to spawn if that wolf is right there. It's the oldest map. All the other maps have the ones that are actually making sense with the mountains around. This one is just, yeah, again, it's almost like a placeholder that they were just like, screw it, just leave it. Which I get, you know, I get that. I do. Who hasn't done something like that, you know? And honestly, the game is very successful, you know? So I don't see any reason they have to stress about little details like that necessarily. Just ignore him. Not going to be able to pick any more cattails with him on me, though. We'll get him later. Stupid wolf. Once we get our bow and arrow, though, man, oh man, these wolves are going to pay a price. All right, let's go grab the water that we had set up over here. I don't think we're going to need our torch right now. So I'm just going to let this one burn out. On second thought, let's keep it going for just a little while longer. Make sure that we actually did boil this water. If I come over here and it's not quite boiled, then we'll probably want to start the fire again, because I am totally out of water. There's no more good old toilet water in there. Boiled, beautiful. Drink it. Now, it's not much, but perfect. Oh, that one's empty. We did end up with this under that. So, yeah. Now when we come over here to cook, we'll be able to boil a lot more water. Put this like over here somewhere. No. Why can't I place this? What? Oopsie. Mixing up all my buttons. Okay. And I did pick up some food, which I will want to cook. So I drop all my ingredients here. And all my cans of stuff that I want to cook. Drop. There we go. Yeah, so I'll come back and maybe on the next stream, we'll spend a half a day just cooking a bunch of stuff up, really trying to level up, that cooking skill. But I think now it's time to head to the cabin, or the trailer, I should say. As nighttime is upon us. I've got to make sure to grab that hacksaw and put it in my inventory so I don't forget. I like to imagine your character really gets fed up with moving things around and throwing torches around. It's like, yep. It's like this weird feeling I get where sometimes I'm not in control of my body. And then I wake up and strange things have been moved around. All right, so hacksaw. And let's go through and drop off some stuff that we don't need. Because we're going to go to Pleasant Valley next. Yeah, I'm going to drop these matches too. I don't need to take all of them with us. Okay, go do this one. Actually, there we go. That's for that. That stays. What? I can't. It's not letting me transfer this stuff now. My mouse is suddenly not responding. What? Okay, now it's working. That's weird. It stops working. I can't select anything now. Huh. Why does it do that? I can't do it. Little bug. This game's got some bugs. I'm not gonna lie. Aaron, you encountered one of those recently too, didn't you? Yeah, that's weird. Oh, okay. I can't do it again. Well, that's super annoying. Well, either way, I'll deal with the inventory management later. I think now is a good time to eat. Let me just go to the main thing. I'm gonna fill up our belly. Some chocolate and some cattail stalks. What a combination. Yeah, the bug before or two with the food, and then the wolf was insta-killed me. Yeah, that's the kind of bug you hate. That's the kind of bug that'll make you game quit. Rage. We need to prioritize food tomorrow, but the good news is we can go into the ravine and get a bunch of cattails, and I do have rabbits still, too, that we should probably process. Yeah, before we go to Pleasant Valley, I should spend a day just focused on food. Cooking those rabbits. Maybe we should even go back to Ravine and hunt some more rabbits. There's even rabbits here in Mystery Lake we can get, although it's riskier because we'll probably be followed around by a bunch of wolves. But yeah, before we head out, I think food should be a priority for us. But we don't want to spend too much time here that we start to eat all our food, I want to be able to leave this place with a bit of reserve behind so that when we come back here, we'll have at least a little bit of food in case we return in a really bad way or something. I'm always just trying to prepare for the future. All right. 10 hours. 10 hours it is. Uh-oh. Can you hear the buzzing? It's the Aurora, people. It's hit us. Let's go outside and look at it. Oh, yeah. We got lights on. You get the weird Aurora music coming out. I love it. Now, there are some hidden areas in the game, too, which you can only access when the Aurora comes out. No, we just happen to wake up. at the same time. You can sleep right through it. If it just happens to be like when you sleep, at the wrong time or whatever, no, you don't necessarily wake up. We just happen to because my energy level's totally full. But yeah, there are some secret places that you can only access when the aurora is out because they have electricity. No, I think the nearest radio is at the cabin by the lake. There's a radio there. I don't think there's a radio in the dam. And to be honest, I don't really want to go in the dam right now because it's super dangerous. Those red wires that you died on are all over the dam. Even in the front room. Like as soon as you walk in, there's wires on the ground. So we're not going to go out. Oh, you ended up talking to the trader? Yeah. The aurora sounds cool. Well, the aurora is what causes the apocalypse, basically. Although, again, I don't know the details of it, but it's more than just a normal aurora. Of course, auroras are caused by electromagnetic, solar rays, you could say, to put it more colloquially. And something happened. It was obviously like a massive solar storm, that knocked out all power or something for long enough that the apocalypse takes hold. But again, if you are interested, buy The Long Dark and play the story mode because it will explain it to you. At least so I know. So I've been told. All right, we're going to exit and then re-enter, and that will save the game. So the game is now officially saved, but I think that'll do it for today's stream, everybody. We've gone for 2.5 hours, and honestly, that was a lot longer than I thought. I did not think I would last for 10 minutes today. I thought I'd log in and it'd die immediately, but we did better than I expected. So tune in next week, guys. I will be streaming again, and I appreciate you all coming by. Thank you, Consolus. Thank you, Aram, Hanny. Appreciate everybody. Whist, everybody. Sweet Tea and Gaming, thank you for coming around. Bill Beto, everybody. Yep. I will see you all next weekend.